of the Costa del Sol as we are ready to go with semifinal action in round 3. And here's what's happened so far. First of the 6 semifinal rounds, 3 in the books, and you can see the order there. Notice in that third semifinal, Team Brady ended up with a DNF. They never crossed the line, so even though Team Miami was almost a lap behind, they were scored in that second spot. So that's how things ended up in the first 3 semifinals. But we still have 3 more semifinals to come, and it's going to get exciting here once again at Puerto Banus. Now keep an eye out here. Look at this moment for Team Blue Rising. Completely airborne and then dropping down into the water. Now watch here for Team Brady and watch what happens. Look in the background there. These boats are hitting these swells and literally coming out of the water completely. And what is happening, as you watch right here, Emma Kimmelainen right there comes down and then the boat stops. And it's a safety feature when the prop free spins in the air, it just shuts the boats down to save those motors. Boats are now out in the milling area for our 4th semifinal. Again, 6 in total. Depending upon where you finish in each of the semifinals, you earn points. At the end of the 2, those are added up, and the highest scorers will advance straight into the finals. So for semifinal number 4, let's take a look at the contenders. Team Brazil will have Katie Munnings at the helm. Team Rafa will have Tom Schaap, who had a very fast lap in the qualifying rounds. And for Team Drogba, Yusuf Al Abdul Razak, who was impressively quick in his qualifying round as well. And they are all going to be heading out onto a very challenging course. Let's meet Team Brazil and the pilot for this one. And again, she is extremely accomplished. Certainly, she's an extreme E-Arctic X-Prix race winner, the 2016 European Ladies Rally Champion when she was 18 years old. Katie Munnings, a lot of talent for Team Brazil for this one. Timmy Hansen, very impressive in his semifinal earlier, looking on. And for Team Rafa, boy, did they have a great run and have been. This time, it will be this gentleman, one of the very best, one of the most experienced, Tom Schaap. As you can see, not only a powerboat world champion, but a karting 4-stroke world champion. So he can obviously get it done. He's what we may have called in the day an all-rounder, and he is showing himself to be very adept here at E1 electric powerboat racing. And then the third team is Team Drogba, and they are getting ready to go. And in this boat, it will be Yusuf Al Abdul Razak. And he, too, is a very, very accomplished multi-aquabike world champion. And he holds the Guinness World Record for most win in the Aquabike World Championship in the Asian Olympics Beach Games gold medalist. So we've got some mighty talented pilots as Oben Duncan, his teammate, looks on.
Well, they start, as always, straight off the VIP area, and then straight to that big turn into the waves, and then a long straight down into the north turning mark. They will do this course, this 4 laps. One of those laps has to be the long lap, and we find that that's really strategic when they take that. So it's a big race in big conditions.
Big implications for this semifinal as we start the second round, if you will. And again, look at the immediate launch that we see. It's all a matter of timing it right to get to those marks. And it was Drogba with Yusuf Al Abdul Razak who went first. But it looks like it's going to be a dead even heat almost when they come to the line. And surely part of this is, when do you go to the boost here? Do you do it coming to the line? Do you do it after the line? And we're green, bows out at this stage. And all 3 of these race birds in fairly close order here.
beautiful start by Drogba, on time, going fast, got the inside lane, which we've seen that's such an advantage on this course. Really lovely job.
But up front, it's Team Rafa with Tom Schaap, and he gets to that first buoy. That's smart. Oh, and a problem on board here right from the off. As you were talking about the great start by Drogba, and they have parked right there. Problems for that Racebird. Meanwhile, it is, as we said, Tom Schaap for Team Rafa and Katie Munnings for Team Brazil, who are continuing on the course. And the question is, right where he would have stopped, Yusuf Abdul Razak, is right where you would start the turn in for that very crucial corner. He's moving again. He has got it restarted, and it's just lost now, Shirley, an awful lot of ground.
Well, it's hard to see him catching up from here, but I'm sure he's going to try. I mean, we saw in the previous semi-finals, as you said, issues with the motor overspeed fault. You know, if the boat and the prop is out the water for too long, you're going to have issues, and all the drivers now are very, very aware of that.
Trying to make the adjustments, and look there, you can see Oban Duncan just crushed, obviously seeing what has developed here, but out front it continues to be Tom Schaap for Rafa, and right now he has a 15-second lead, and that's sort of been what we've been seeing for the margin for doing the long lap. So if he can keep this pace alive, he might be able to complete the long lap and still retain the lead after everybody else has done those long laps. And he was in qualifying, he came out of the gate and was just incredibly quick on his first lap, and he's showing that ability right now.
It is so bumpy. We can almost see him weaving his way through it. I mean, he's definitely sort of picking his path. Very experienced in a power boat. You know, he really good kind of racecraft in difficult conditions, and we're seeing his pedigree really coming out now.
Here he's working those S curves, and again, you come by from that start-finish line, and then you sort of bend to the left a little bit, go around that yellow smart mark, then head back out to that one and make that left-hand turn, and then you get into this sort of triple apex corner here, and you can see he's doing a nice job of keeping that foil from dropping too deep into the water, because that just creates massive drag, doesn't it? All right, let's go back and take a look at the start here. And, oh, look, we have a long lap penalty for Team Rafa. And I wonder if he got to that line just a little bit too soon. And that is, we just get confirmation that that second long lap penalty for Schaap will be for a jump start. Oh, that's a tough, tough break.
And the long lap is long here. You know, it's another 15 seconds. He's left him with a lot to do, Greg.
Well, his margin right now is 16.7, and that's not going to be enough to come through and be able to hang on at the front. So right now it's more about minimizing damage, perhaps, and Schaap has to sort of throw caution to the wind right now and just go and see what happens here. And he's taking his first of those long laps right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how close this is at the merge.
I'm surprised by that, you know, an unforced error. He one of the most experienced drivers on water. He didn't really need to push it that hard. He'd be really frustrated.
Well, he does hang on to the lead after his single long lap. Right now, you can see Yusuf Abdul Razak for Drogba is doing his long lap as well. And so, but it's going to be fascinating here to watch the speed that he musters now for Tom Schaap. He just turned to 2:10. Comfortably the fastest lap thus far, and he really has to get after it here. And Katie Munnings will be the lone pilot that has yet to still do that mandatory long lap. You have to do one. You cannot do it at the start. You have to complete a lap, and then in one of the next 3 laps, do that long lap run. And for right now, just keeping an eye. Schaap, he just turned the fastest first sector by almost a second and a half. He has the memo. He's getting after it.
That got him going. And we're looking at the combined standings on the left-hand side of the screen, but obviously that is before the long lap is taken into consideration. But it's going to be a battle, isn't it, Greg? This is so tight. Remember, only one boat goes through to the final automatically, and then it's a bit of a battle between the boats that are in second place in all the semi-finals.
And we're getting word that they are being told, Katie, the engineers up in mission control are saying, push. If you close the gap, he has to do another long lap. Stay within 15 seconds. You've got a shot at this. And she's trimmed it. She's come down only 9 seconds adrift. So right now, she has an opportunity here. She just turned Katie a 2:02. That's by a big chunk, the quickest lap we have seen in this semifinal run. So she is doing everything she possibly can to stay. Look at the spray as they go. Now he's doing his second long lap. So this is it. The merge is going to be everything. Oh, look at him. He just buried the nose down. Oh, and look at the front of that has come off in one of those big drops. Now it's designed to do that. It's a very lightweight crushable structure. So it's still, designed to have that kind of give to it here. So it won't affect the performance, I don't think, Shirley, but this merge is going to be everything.
He took a big wallop. I mean, we could hear it here. Obviously, it's not very aero, but the cone at the front is sacrificial, as you said. It's no issue to the structure of the hull.
And you can see the look on his face. He is just willing this race bird out front, and he has been able to do his 2 long laps and has hung on to that lead. And as a matter of fact, Yusuf Al Abdul Razak for Team Drogba is closing down on Katie Munnings right now, and he just turned the fastest lap in this one, a 1:55.3 for Yusuf Al Abdul Razak. He is flying right now, and right now we've got all 3 of our race birds are covered by less than 10 seconds with extra long laps and a stall by one of the boats. Look at the seas that they're running through here. How do you read this?
Pick your way through the chaos. I mean, one thing we have learned today is that it's never over.
No, not by a long shot.
Until you cross the line, that is for sure, and they'll be very aware of that.
Boy, and Yusuf Al Abdul Razak for Team Drogba, he is coming. He is coming up alongside. He has just used up his boost, and it has brought him alongside of Tom Schaap, and Schaap is way outside right now. And right now, Katie Munnings completing the boost as well. And is Schaap doing, did he just miss? I think he missed one of the turning cones, didn't he? Oh, right. Now, we just got word from race control, mission control, if you will, that they have been asked to move off the course because of the damage to the front of that race bird. And so now Schaap dropping back, and Yusuf Al Abdul Razak, who before he even got to the first turn, had the boat stop, that race bird stop temporarily, has come back with an absolutely storming drive. And looks like he just turned his previous lap a 55.3. What a run he has put in. He was superb in qualifying, and he's doing it again. Yusuf Al Abdul Razak for Team Drogba brings it home with an amazing, amazing comeback win. Katie Munnings for Team Brazil coming through in second. And then, of course, Tom Schaap for Rafa will be scored in third. You see the combined standings. It shows those 3 simply because now they're the only 3 boats who have completed 2 semifinal runs. So that's going to be the deal. And keep in mind, the highest combined score out of each of these semifinal rounds moves you straight into the final, Shirley.
So Brazil is through. We don't know about Drogba. We have to wait to the other semi-finals. But Drogba's combined score is, well, they have a first and a third. So, potentially they can also make that 4th place in the final. But great news for Team Brazil fans. They made it for another day.
They did. They are straight through. And that is an impressive run. Katie Munnings, she set that one incredibly fast lap for Katie putting it together. But let's hear from Yusuf Al Abdul Razak. Shirley?
Yusuf, it's Shirley here in the commentary box. What a race. It had everything. Talk us through trying to catch up after that stall.
Basically at the start it was, it died on me. I think I overrode, and we went to restart this engine again. And thankfully I did it quick and managed to catch up.
Well, what did it take to catch up? I mean, it was an incredible race to watch.
Yeah, well, I had to focus, look at the waves, roll with it sometimes, and make sure I get as stable as I can. And it worked out well.
Well done, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah, and tell you what, we've been talking about this. They were the top qualifying team, and in both his qualifying run and now in this second semifinal, Yusuf Abdul-Razak has done an absolutely fabulous job of absolutely flying that race bird. I guess it's safe to say the Razak attack is in full form here right now and doing a really nice job. And again, Team Brazil already now is in the final round, straight to the final. And Team Drogba, they're going to have to see if where they end up and will they get that advance. It's the highest placed of the second place boats in each of the 3 semifinal rounds. So they're certainly still in with a chance at this stage, but we know Team Brazil is in at this point. Boy, talk about pressure off. You know you're going to be running for top 4 points, and that is going to be absolutely critical. And I'll tell you what, it was a solid run by Katie Munnings getting it done. Katie, this is Greg in the comms booth. Amazing lap. You had the fastest lap of that race and a fight back. You guys are going straight to the finals. Well, sounds like maybe our comms isn't getting through on this one, but you know that they have to be absolutely elated. And a really impressive run once again by Katie Munnings to get that job done. And she and Timmy Hansen, who was mega impressive in his qualifying run as well as his semifinal, pretty impressive at this stage. So well done for Team Brazil. And let's check in with Laura Winters.
I'm with Timmy Hansen, who is delighted. When I came over to you, Timmy, to ask for the interview, you did a fist pump in the air, didn't you? How thrilled are you to be through to this final with a first and a second in your semis?
Yeah, of course, I'm super happy, to make it through to the final. That's like the really hardest part of the weekend, and yeah, we did it. So we're super happy. But of course, we nearly had to stop running today. The sea conditions are absolutely crazy. I know on the camera you can barely pick it up, but inside the race bird you're coming up to waves that are higher than the boat, and this boat is made for water like we see behind us here, but out there in the open ocean is crazy. Rafa, unfortunately, they paid the price for that. They pushed a lot and they lost their nose cone, so of course I'm bummed for them too, but gotta be happy for being in the final. Katie did a great race. She was really fast, nearly keeping Josef behind, who was flying and qualifying. So yeah, I'm happy about her, proud of her, and let's go final.
Thank you, Timmy. I'll let you run down to Katie now. Thank you so much. Good luck in the final.
And thank you, Laura, on the spot and getting that word. You can see that smile. And as he said, it's such a relief. You go straight into the final here. So a great run for Team Brazil. They're in the finals. And just to confirm it, we'll show you the results here from semifinal 4. And Team Rafa ending up with a DNF for Tom Schaap, second place. Katie Munnings, that's enough. Combined with their first semifinal run, they're in the finals. And for Yusuf Abdul-Razak, a fabulous race. But Team Drogba has to wait. Are they in or not?
Whoa, it's emotional, isn't it?
It truly is. It truly is. And you've got to wonder here. Obviously, we were seeing some tremendous speed by Tom Schaap, but it took its toll. Now, here's that start, and he got to that start line just milliseconds before the actual count came out, and so that was why he got that jump start penalty. But he was pushing that boat incredibly hard. Look at that, and it was just enough that you had to do those 2 long lap penalty runs here. And look at the ride that they're having now. These seas are so choppy right now. And there it is. Comes to a stop here. And that was the big surprise. We thought he was done. No, he sure wasn't. And look at that. Look at that hammer into that actual swell there, Shirley, and off came that nose cone.
Yeah, it's meant to come off, no
Yes.
dramas, but boy, he was pushing it hard. I mean, we could feel that wave through the screen, and tried his best to continue, and it was deemed unsafe and asked to leave the course. So, you know, difficult race for Rafa.
Well, yes, but obviously it's always going to come down to safety first, and they're always going to be looking at that. So a great semifinal is done. One of the most famous beaches in all of Spain. Many Europeans come here to enjoy the waters and have a swim here at the Costa del Sol and in Marbella. And of course, many of them have pretty nice boats too to get out and do a little sailing on. That is a mighty attractive prospect on a beautiful day like this. And here we go, getting ready now for semi-final 5 of 6. And for Steve Aoki and Aoki Racing, Michele Lobadan will be out in her race bird. For Team Checo, Formula 1 pilot Danny Close. And then for Westbrook, it will be Lucas Ordóñez, who has proven to be an absolute quick study in these race birds. Let's take a look here at this beautiful Aoki Racing team. Both of the pilots are Saudi Arabian, so the boat done, this race bird done in the Saudi colors. And Michele Lobadan doing a great job here. She is the first ever Saudi female rally driver. She was ranked 3rd in the FIA World Championship for cross-country Bajas, so an amazing racer. And for the Sergio Perez race team, or Team Checo as they call it, as they are getting ready for their second semifinal. Danny Close, a former Formula 1 test driver, a winner in GP2, which has now morphed into F2 and is the launching ground for Formula 1. And he was the Formula Renault 2.0 Italian champion. And in the Westbrook Racing race bird, it is Lucas Ordóñez. And Lucas, interesting, came through racing via the Nissan GT Academy, the Gran Turismo Academy, but has had podiums, 2 of them, in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, a Bentley factory driver in the 24 Hours of Spa, extremely accomplished.
Well, for sure, it's a challenging racetrack. They start within touching distance of the VIP lounge, and the boats charge southwards towards the big left-hand turn into those waves, and then a long straight, a tight turn at the north end. There is 4 laps in total, and just add a little bit of spice. After the initial lap, each pilot must do a long lap.
And just to remind everybody, in the first round of the semifinals for these 3, it was Aoki Racing and Saud Ahmed who put together the win here. And now it's up to Michele Lobadan to see what she's going to be able to do. But she's well behind here at the start. But is she going to tap into that boost and make it work? It's all a matter of when they get to the line. And we are away, bows out right now. And it looked like a really solid start right here. Beautiful launch. And we'll see how this is going to play out here. Really got that timing down to an absolute perfection here and has leapt out to a pretty surprising lead. But here comes Lucas Ordóñez up on the boost as well and has got, crucially here, Shirley, to the inside.
Yeah, it's so powerful, particularly in these difficult conditions, to get that inside line on this big turn.
He got there, he owns it, and now he's going to come around these buoys, these smart marks, which is, I've said before, are technological marvels in their own right here. And now look at how quickly he got that boat turned and got that race bird straightened out. And he is going to get after it in a big, big hurry here. Danny Close trying to stay in touch here. And then Michele Lobadan a little bit farther back. All 3 of them, though, covered by about 8 seconds. So still pretty close.
if Westbrook have any chance of getting into the final, of being that 4th boat in, they have to win this race. There is no option other way. So I expect to see Lucas pushing pretty hard.
Yeah, that's true. Sarah ended up in 3rd in that semi-final run. And so, boy, you can see right there, you see how high that boat flies. And it's really important when you know you're going to hit one of those swells and maybe get launched airborne to just lift a little bit to keep that prop when it comes out of the water from overspinning and getting into that safety shutdown feature. And he was close a couple of times there, but he's doing a beautiful job. He's now stretched that margin to almost 6 seconds back to Danny Close for Team Checo, and it's another 4.5 seconds back to Michele Lobadan for Aoki Racing right now. So Lucas Ordonez doing a really nice job here, and here comes Danny Close up on the boost and responding almost immediately as Lucas Ordonez. And you wonder if their engineers and mission control are watching what the other team is doing and saying, okay, go, react, keep this margin built up. That would be good strategy, I would think.
I think the engineers, because we've seen some issues earlier on, the engineers are also just keeping an eye on how high they are flying when they're at max revs, you know, really just trying to keep the prop a bit more engaged in the water.
Right now, well, Lucas had the fastest first sector, but Danny Close for Team Checo just set a first sector a second quicker than anybody else right now. And you're turning into that swell, you're in the wake of the boat in front of you. Boy, I just can't imagine how you look at that and say, that's the line I want to take, because by the time you get there, that could be gone.
I love that Timmy Hansen said, you know, when you're sitting in the cockpit, the waves are higher than you. I mean, we're looking at it from a lovely aerial, but these waves are massive for these kind of boats, and they're doing so well. Lucas Ordonez, he's a car racer. You know, this is not where he belongs, and he's really adapting, you know, so well, reading what's going to come next and just keeping the wheels on.
Yeah, he is. However, Danny Close is closing that margin down. He's got it down to about 4 seconds right now. So doing a really good job, and as a result, he has opted to do that long lap. And it's been about 15 seconds there or thereabouts as Sarah looking on. Obviously, a lot of angst here because, as you pointed out, they were 3rd in that first semifinal. They need to win this, and it's the you know, of the highest placed of the second finishers when the points are tallied. That will be the 4th boat to go straight to the finals. So it's crucial here. And with that now, with Checo and Danny Close doing the long lap, Michele Lobadan for Aoki Racing has jumped up into the 2nd spot. But Danny, once again, on the boost and trying to come through and close it up a little bit. 2nd lap in the books right now. And with that, with Close doing that long lap, right now Lucas Ordonez, Shirley, for Westbrook Racing, has about 17 seconds in hand over Lobadian. So this is really close. Look at how close this is, side by side, foil to foil. We are looking at that Aoki Racing boat from that big camera right on the top here of the Checo boat. This is as close as we've seen. Well, you can see how that inside line pays off. Oh, we can feel that here, it seems.
That's such a good shot.
Amazing, isn't it?
We have a better shot than they do. So close, I mean, within a meter or 2 meters of each other. That's good racing.
Yeah, Danny right now, the only one of the drivers to have done the long lap at this stage. And he is at this stage about 20 seconds off of Lucas Ordonez. And Ordonez on that 2nd lap just set fastest lap of this race at a 1 minute 56.4. And here we see Lucas, look at that, just brilliantly straight lining straight into that long lap. But that battle for 2nd, still side by side. Fascinating stuff, as now Michele Lobadan has opted to change the lineup a little bit. And it looks like she is going to be going for her long lap at this stage as well.
She took some big waves there. Once the boat starts to porpoise, if you can imagine, it's like a car with a really short wheelbase. You know, once you start to get the momentum, it's quite hard to pull it back.
Well, and I'll tell you, that 20-second lead paying off for Lucas Ordonez when he went into that long lap because he comes out of it at the merge still about 6 seconds clear of Danny Close as we are about to start our last lap. Ordonez for Will Smith's Westbrook Racing doing a fabulous job. This is now a straight up battle. All the long laps have been completed here. Ordonez up by 4.5 seconds over Danny Close. Again, Westbrook Racing, Sergio Perez's team Checo, and Aoki Racing by Steve Aoki, the great DJ. That is the boat, the race bird in third right now. And going to see what's going to happen here in terms of this battle at the front. Does Danny have anything left to be able to close down on Ordonez? He's got 6 seconds to make up in about a half a lap, Shirley.
This is 2 of our 3 Spanish pilots, friends and families, literally within touching distance, watching this battle commence. It's so good.
Danny Close up on the boost for Team Checo, responding immediately is Ordonez trying to maintain that margin. And Danny picked up about 1.5 seconds before Lucas went to the boost. And Lucas is going to have the boost left. However, he has slowed down. He has hit some really rough water, and Danny Close is now under 4 seconds away as he heads in to this tight north hairpin here. There's Danny. It's that close for this win here. And keep in mind that the Team Checo entry with Vicky Piria finished second in their semifinal run. So 2 seconds, that's not going to do it. I don't think. It's going to be really important to see here. And it looks like Ordonez has stretched it back out again. Had a really good run through the north hairpin. He is coming to the line, and he gets the win and picks it up by, he had a great sector there as well. He picks up the win, looking for Danny to come through, and we'll see what that final margin is. And it is going to be 6.9 seconds. And here is Michelle Lobadan, who, after she did the long lap, sort of lost touch a little bit and just has not been able to find the speed that we saw her have in the qualifying runs. And so she will be bringing it home in the third spot. And so it's going to be awfully interesting here because Aoki Racing gets a first and a third, and Westbrook has a first and a third. So now that would be a tie break, and that'll be fascinating to see how that plays out. And I believe that is how you finish in the second semifinal, is going to be the tie break, which would tilt it here to Westbrook Racing, Shirley. All right, we're going to check in and have Shirley have a chat with Lucas Ordonez.
Lucas Ordonez, it's Shirley here in the commentary box. What a race that was. What a spectacle for your friends and family watching.
Hey guys, that was fun, but the conditions are really difficult. We were anxious in Checo. We will jump out of the boat and of the race bird, and we will be like chatting about the conditions because they were crazy hard to keep on the foils, to keep the boat in one piece, the race bird in one piece. So yeah, I'm glad we made that P1. And yeah, I think we made it to the final straightforward. I don't know, I need to count the points, but well done, Westbrook Racing. Let's go. Come on.
Well, we think you've made it to the final as well. Congratulations and good luck.
I love that energy. Let's go. And following up on that energy, let's go right down to Laura Winner with Sarah Price.
A very happy Sarah Price is joining me now, and after what you said in your own first semi-final, a horrible race for you, you guys have made it. How relieved are you?
Oh man, I was on pins and needles right now, you know, just trying to hopefully have my spirits be with Lucas, like, hey, come on, just get it to the finish line. And as you guys know, everything counts all the way until that last buoy, so he made it, and he absolutely killed it. I'm so proud of him. We, you know, we needed that because my run was not good this morning. And so we needed to get this #1 in order to get into the final. And we're in the final, and that's all that matters at this point. Now we reset, and we do it all over again. And Team Westbrook is absolutely amazing. We have such an incredible team, so I have no doubts about what the future holds. Some good things, I think, coming.
And in all of the interviews we're doing, both in the cockpit and with some of you on dry land as well, you guys are saying how tough these conditions are and how we can't even imagine what it's like there. Can you try and sum up into words how challenging it is and how much you're having to adapt your own driving styles as well?
Yeah, it is very challenging. You know, I think everyone's trying to figure it out. You guys just saw Rafa's bow fall off, so that puts it a little bit in perspective. I think the boats are jumping out of the water, they're over revving, and they're turning off. It's not easy environments for these boats, and they've never seen this type of environment before, so this is all new to everyone. We're all trying to be the first ones to figure it out, and so that's kind of the race, is not only trying to get the result, but also to be the first one to know how to work these boats properly.
Great stuff. Well done. Congratulations to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Laura. And now we're going to check in with Michele Lobadan with Team Aoki. Michelle, this is Greg in the comms booth. It looked like after you did that long lap, you just lost touch a little bit. The conditions look brutal.
Definitely, it was pretty rough out there compared to yesterday and this morning, for sure. It was the roughest, but I'd say it's our first time to actually race in such conditions, and now we have all the data to push for next time.
Well, obviously, this is a big learning curve for everybody here, both for the race birds and for the pilots in these conditions, and you brought it home. Well done. Thank you so much. And that's one of the things that has been one of the discussions here, is this is new ground for these conditions for these race birds. And when we've been talking a little bit about the weather that we've been dealing with, the weather here is beautiful. It's the weather offshore that is blowing in these massive swells, and so that's why these conditions are suddenly changing up rather dramatically. So let's take a look at the results for semi-final number 5. And again, Aoki Racing with Michele Lobadan in that third spot. Team Checo with Danny Close, a close second. But it was Lucas Ordonez in the Westbrook boat bringing it home with a win. So that is a great and important run. As we are getting ready to go here for semifinal 6, we see the 3 race birds in this competition in the milling area getting ready to go. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. The grid for semifinal number 6 in the Team Blue Rising boat. Virat Kohli, the owner, is Lisa Hussein Battaglia. Mark Anthony's Team Miami is in the second spot. Eric Stark will be behind the wheel. And Team Brady, Sam Coleman, the points leaders coming in, starts in lane 1. And for Team Blue Rising, Lisa Hussein Battaglia is getting ready to take this race bird out. And look at the focus right there. She was second in the 2023 World Champion in the jet ski racing and the French Championship Slalom Vice Champion in 2016. And for Team Miami, we know that the talents of this guy are off the charts. This is Eric Stark, 4-time Formula 2 Powerboat World Champion, 2-time second in Formula 1 powerboating, and in 2011, the offshore 3C World Champion. He's done it all. However, he's going to have some stiff competition from another driver who has an awful lot of experience as well. Sam Coleman, the 2018 P1 Powerboat World Champion, a 2-time P1 Powerboat British champ, and an E1 GP winner twice now.
Well, this course is getting more and more challenging as the day progresses. Lots of swell and chop. They start within touching distance of the VIP lounge, and then the boats charge south towards that big left-hand turn, barreling into the swell, then a long straight and a tighter turn at the north end. There are 4 laps in total.
All right, we're 25 seconds for the start. And do remember, folks, the winner in the first semifinal run for these 3 Racebirds was Team Blue Rising with Phelim Kavanaugh. So now Lisa Kassane has an opportunity here. We're 10 seconds away. Look at this launch attempt by Sam Coleman here, but he suddenly loses a little bit of pace as they come up to the mark. He may have sensed I was getting there too quickly. On the outside, the other 2 boats for Team Miami and Team Blue Rising side by side, and here comes Coleman as he is on the inside. You could barely see him there. They are 3 abreast, Shirley.
That was the best start we've had so far, and for Sam Coleman, you know, he has to win this race. Emma didn't finish her round, so his only option, his only choice for getting into the final is to really nail this.
Absolutely, and same story, obviously opportunity for them to make it perhaps, but I'll tell you, they are not going quietly. Eric Stark, he was struggled in qualifying as they had a little bit of an issue. They think it's solved, and look at him now getting out of the wake and looking for clear, smoother water to be able to do something, but Coleman is easing away. Not able to address the speed right now is Eric Stark. This has got to be frustrating for the multi-time world champ. Ooh, and Lisa Kassane-Battaglia now is finding some speed as well. She drops the hammer at this point and starts to close in, uses that boost. Boy, they are covered by only 5.5 seconds between these 3 Racebirds right now. This is about as close as we have seen. Well, look at Team Blue Rising. Eric Stark now up on the boost, trying to close it up again before we get look at the spray coming off of the nose of these boats, and when they drop that foil in to make the turn. And well, I'll tell you right there, Eric Stark almost came to a complete slow, and it was just because of how much seas he was in. Look at that boat suddenly for Coleman just snap sideways there. That's the those foils, the hydrodynamics going on. It's pretty mystical stuff.
It's so hard, and you can see it's choppy and there's swell. It's so mixed up. Really, really difficult to keep the platform stable and even and keep the ride constant. And Eric Stark, he wasn't happy in qualifying, he wasn't happy with the boat, couldn't really find his groove, and it sort of feels like that hasn't really been resolved. He doesn't seem to be able to, he just doesn't look smooth, he doesn't look happy today.
They're working now through that S section that we've talked about. You come by the start-finish line, you bend to the left, you bend to the right, and then this hard left. Man, did he make up some ground, though, heading into that turn. He almost got the inside away from Sam Coleman. That margin has shrunk to virtually nothing here, so he figured something out. But now, look at Coleman, comes out of that turn, and immediately, I was going to say immediately went to the boost, but look at him float way wide, and look at Stark now cut Team Miami right up the inside here. And again, Lisa Kassane-Battaglia for Team Blue Rising staying right in the mix. She's made up some ground. They're back to under 8 seconds covering all 3 boats. And Stark, has he figured a little something out here?
He's found a bit of pace, hasn't he, from somewhere. And Sam Coleman also looks a little bit unsettled. You see he's dipping down into the water. That is so slow.
Oh, and he got him. Stark has gone right around the outside. That when Coleman dropped into that trough, it nearly parked him. And Eric Stark now to the lead and is really putting a run. But look at him. He almost gets parked right there as he was midpoint in that corner. But he has the lead now, and it's by 4 seconds now over Coleman as Lisa Kassane-Battaglia. I think it's a smart move for her. She stayed close, but it was close enough. She was constantly in the wake of the 2 boats. I think she said, I'm going to get out of this, give myself a little smoother race course. Man, this margin's so close, Shirley, at the front right now.
And the crashes are big. It's really hard to recover. They're losing a lot of ground.
Here was Emma Kymäläinen, who was obviously concerned. Here comes Coleman. He's up on the boost. Now he's off the boost, and as he comes off the boost, look at that. Team Miami's Eric Stark just opens that boost up and blows right by him. Coleman had got up dead even, and then that exchange of boosts puts Stark back up in front by just under 3 seconds. You can see the margin right there. And, you know, that's the thing. When you go to the boost, I would think the smart move here is the engineers up in mission control. If you're in the lead, you're going to react to the boost from those that are pursuing, and they're playing this to absolute perfection right now. What can Coleman do at this stage?
I think you've got to really pick your moment when you're going to use the boost. You need a big flat bit of water, not a great big mountain to climb.
Look how close they were. Oh, that was nearly a touch of foils. I don't know if they did, but I don't think you had much room for more than a couple sheets of paper between the two. It was that close. And that's the competition face. Every time we go, Eric is just, it's like he's willing himself around this track here. But look at the margin he's opened up now. He's up by 5 seconds, and neither Stark nor Coleman have done the long lap yet. And Stark goes for it. Coleman elects not to. And I think Coleman's thinking, and did you notice Sam was right in the wake of Eric Stark? I think he may have sensed that he could save a little bit of violence for him and the race bird. And now he comes through. He doesn't do the long lap. He's got some smooth track, smooth course to use. But boy, he's got to open up a big margin right now.
On the Delta, we're looking at 15 seconds plus to be able to make that stick. Remember, this is his only option. He has to win this race if they've any chance of being in the final. Absolutely.
He's got to get after it, and that margin is at 5.5 seconds with Stark. And remember, both Stark now and Lisa St. Battaglia have done their long laps. And at this moment, I'm looking, it's only 9 seconds between Sam Coleman for Team Brady and Lisa St. Battaglia for Team Blue Rising. So at this point, Coleman could do his long lap and end up third. And that is not going to get the job done. And right now, Eric Stark, in fact, has trimmed that margin down to 1.5 seconds, and Coleman hasn't even done the long lap yet. So Eric Stark is making a statement here that, nope, he clearly figured something out and is showing the speed that we might expect from him. His last lap, of course, he did that long lap, so it's off just a little bit, but he is coming after Coleman right now. But the previous lap for Stark, I believe he had turned a 1:55, which is one of the faster laps we've seen in this second round of qualifying.
Eric Stark's got better as this race has progressed. He kind of found his feet. He looks a lot smoother than he did early on.
Well, I tell you, Lisa St. Battaglia now has closed it up, but now Stark goes to the boost for Mark Anthony's Team Miami. And he wants to, he's already alongside Coleman as Coleman starts that long lap. And St. Battaglia is very close as well. She's only 2.8 seconds behind Stark at that turn-in point. So Eric Stark is going to have a nice lead, but Lisa St. Battaglia could very well come out at the merge in a second place and by a few seconds at that. As we come around now, this is the run to the checkers. And it is Eric Stark for Team Miami. What a brilliant race he has driven here. And look at the relief as he comes through the line. The checker flag flies. He has won it. And Lisa St. Battaglia, she is going to grab second spot. A superb race for Lisa. And that's a first and a second for Team Blue Rising. I think they might well be in the finals. All right, and here comes, again, our third place boat. Sam Coleman, obviously, is going to be in that third spot. But you take a look at those standings right now. Team Miami is straight into the finals. The question is, will it be Team Blue Rising, the highest placed of the second place boats? Will they get the nod or not? That's going to be fascinating. Now, we have confirmation from Mission Control that Team Blue Rising is the highest scoring second place boat. Remember, it all comes down to those counted points. You total them up, and that's the decision maker. So we're going to be listening in to Team Miami here. And again, let's have Shirley chat.
Eric, it's Shirley Robertson here in comms. Massive congratulations. That looked like hard work.
Thank you very much. It was really fun fight with Sam. I think we were very close to each other. So yeah, it was a really fun race and it was really rough, but you know, we got what we wanted. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Well, good luck for the final. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, he just obviously, you know, it didn't look like he was going to get the great start. Coleman seemed to time it to perfection, and that first lap was not that impressive either for Eric, but then he figured it out and he went after it with a great burst of speed.
Well, a massive congratulations. It's Shirley Robertson here in the comms. We hear you go through to the final.
Lisa, we have just been confirmed here that Team Blue Rising is through to the final, and in large part by the absolutely superb race you just put in. Congratulations. Clearly this means a huge amount to you, Lisa. You've got to be so happy. We can see the emotion you have right now. I think she's just too overwhelmed to chat right now. Here she is. You did a great job. Just revel in the moment. We are so happy for you as well. And any words for your teammate here? Well, I think she's just a bit overwhelmed right now and completely understanding. But let's get down now to hear from another of our competitors with Laura.
I'm with, I think, quite an emotional Anna. Are you all right? Congratulations, you're through to the final. And I know you're desperate to see Eric and say well done. Can you try and sum up how you're feeling?
Yeah, I got the shades on because I might cry. Today was really hard. Earlier in the day, I had some mechanical issues that left me feeling really defeated. It was not really anything on the team's part or anything like that, but Eric did what Eric does best, and he pulled it out of his magic hat. I was up in the VIP club with Mark, just losing it. You know, that guy really can figure a watercraft out. The first couple laps, I was a little bit worried. He looked like he was having some trouble, and then he pulled it out. Then I was just losing it. I'm so thankful to be on a team with him. We took some of the things that I learned, gave it to Eric, and Eric did what he does best.
Yeah, he pulled it out the bag, and you know, this is the thing about E1, when one may slightly falter, the other pulls it out, and that's the teamwork, isn't it? That's the beautiful part of it. Have you taken anything from today, any learnings to go into the final for tomorrow?
Absolutely. A lot of the things that I learned, I handed over to Eric, and as you saw, they worked out today. So we definitely have a lot of things to think about on the final, but right now, I just want to give that guy a hug.
I will let you go, and I love that you're not telling us anything that you've learned, because you're such a fierce competitor. Anna, congratulations. Enjoy this moment.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, that energy is what this is all about here. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. And you can see that Coleman had that great run, eased up, and then went to the throttle and had that inside line, Shirley. And we could see it was a drag race all the way up there. But then Eric just seemed to drop off just a little bit, like we had seen in his qualifying run.
Yeah, Eric Stark was struggling in the early laps, and Sam Coleman looked so smooth, like it was his race to lose. But it was never over on this race course, was it? And oh, Sam took some big crashes.
And I think Eric was doing just a fabulous job. And he was doing a great job, one, of reading the course, but also timing his boost to perfection. And made this just this astounding outside move here. And you can see Coleman trying to come back after him, and that's where it got so close. And let's look. Boy, I don't know if there was a touch, but it was incredibly close. And Eric looking over and going, whoa, that was a mighty small margin. And then he brought it home with a very impressive win. Again, up by 6 seconds clear of the incredible run by Lisa Gussain-Battaglia, who was able to fight through, grab that second place, and that puts Team Blue Rising into the final as well. Look at Eric celebrating here. Anna got to give him that big hug, and now they get to celebrate. But this one, I think, is going to be special. Lisa, so emotional, and I think overwhelmed, but boy, did she answer the call and did a fabulous job. You could fail him. I just love this. It's just great to see that level of energy. Great to see that level of energy here between those teammates. All of the teammates are like that, certainly. And here comes Emma. You can see her walking out onto the launch pad and going to, I'm sure, console Sam Coleman just a little bit here. So here are the results for semifinal 6. Sam Coleman along with Emma Kymäläinen. In this one, they ended up in 3rd. Team Blue Rising for Virat Kohli with the amazing run by Lisa Gazem-Batalha are through to the final with their 2nd place finish. And Eric Stark, what a comeback drive here, and takes Mark Anthony's Team Miami straight to the finals as well. So, finals are set, and it's absolutely going to be a blast to watch. But first, let's hear more from Laura with the Team Blue Rising.
There is a lot of emotion down here. Phelim has just asked Lisa if she's happy, and I'm going to double check that as well, because I'm presuming these are very happy tears, but overwhelming ones. Try and sum it up for us.
It's incredible because during all the race, I was third, but I was with tips like this. Yes, I want the 2nd place, and so in the last lap for me it was the last chance, and I was full throttle and 1,000%. And I used the boost when everything. I had the boost, so I was like this with the hand, the feet. So no, it's incredible, and I am very happy because Phelim did a very good job this morning. So
I think we're through to the final.
You're through to the final?
What about it?
I thought you knew. You're through to the final.
Everyone's saying, but no, that's awesome. Yeah, we had a tough little morning, but I feel like things are just getting going for us. You know, we had a tough time in Venice, tough time in Jeddah, so now, like, hopefully for us, it's only ways up. So.
What was that like for you to watch as well? Because I could see you looking relatively calm. There's a little tap on the behind from Danny Kloss there as he walked past. You looked relatively calm watching. I'd imagine there was a lot more going on inside.
Yeah, not calm at all. It's just I don't know. The feelings you have are crazy. You know, it's.
With the waves, it's incredible.
It's wild,
the condition is.
Yeah, it was super tense, but I knew we could pull it. I knew something was going to work for us today. So, yeah, it did. It came through, and it's wicked.
I loved your impression of what it's like when you hit the boost, and obviously you're out there in all the elements. Have you learned a lot from today that you can take into racing tomorrow in terms of mastering and adapting to these conditions?
Yes, it depends on the condition, but we'll learn many things today, and now we need to be better.
Yeah, I think we learned that we like these conditions. You know, they kind of work for us. Grit your teeth, get through it. So, yeah, on to tomorrow, and we just got to perform. You know, hopefully we can pull it out of the bag.
Podium.
Fun and perform.
Yeah.
Fun and perform, and a podium may be the win in sight. Thank you very much, you guys. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
All right, so let's take a look at how the semifinals played out. You know, you can see result semifinal 1, but we want to look, obviously, at the finishing orders, and you can see just how that plays out for some of these teams here and where they are going to go. Now, here are the combined results for the semifinal. So Team Brazil, they're into the finals. Team Westbrook, they're into the finals. Team Miami is into the finals. But here's the big story here. The 4th boat, the Racebird that flew into the finals, Team Blue Rising. So the next 4 boats will all be in the place race. They will be running for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place points. That's Team Drogba, Aoki Racing, Team Checo, and Team Rafa. And that means there are 9 of these Racebirds. That means that 1 of the Racebirds is going to be eliminated here. And the big story at this point is who that is. The points leaders coming in to this race are going to be eliminated. Team Brady not making it in. Mark Anthony enjoying the moment here. He has not missed one of these races. I think this guy is as all in as you can get. And how could he not be absolutely overjoyed? He calls Eric Stark the Iceman, and I think we just saw why. Eric, as you said, struggled early, found a solution, blew through for the win. That's impressive stuff.
As Anna says, he has a magic hat, and he pulled it out. But tough. You know, they're champions. They've raced all their lives, this team, but it's still hard to come here knowing that you've got the skills to really bring on success, and it just doesn't quite line up. Really tough weekend for Team Brady.
Right. Well, and the really tough part, for Emma, obviously in her semifinal, she was leading coming up to the line, and she raced it incredibly hard. Had that little issue where that motor safety thing, jumped in and parked her. But I mean, that's got to be almost, the most gut-wrenching is you're in sight of the line. If she'd had a paddle on board that race, Bird, she maybe could have paddled it across the line. It was that close. So she and Sam doing everything they possibly could. But a smile on her face, I like to see that. And maybe the one, silver lining for them is that 16-point lead that they had coming in, so they could still be in good shape in terms of the season points, even after this weekend here at Puerto Banus. The finals will be coming up. Thanks so much for joining us.